What's going on? What's going on? It's a lot that we gotta understand. It's a lot going on out here. It's a lot that everyday people just don't know about. Is your reality a simulation or is it real? Do we got people in charge of controlling our lives on a daily basis? Can they plan out and schedule what's going on in your life and how your life could turn out? Do we live under a legal organized crime syndicate? Do we live underneath legalized organized crime? You know, in Philadelphia, I can say with a certainty, with a high level of certainty that we do. We live under a legalized organized crime system. It's a lot of questions that I have that have not been answered. But I mean, when you're adding up, when you doing the math and you're doing the simple math and you really just putting together the bare necessities of everything, you come to certain realizations. We can't waver in our realizing something, because anytime that foundation is shaken, that's only due to the fact that they really don't want this information understood or deciphered and put out to the masses in many ways. Anytime you have too much power and control, when you look at people like the Rothschilds, when you look at families, influential families that has wealth beyond, wealth turns into power and it's beyond anything that anybody can comprehend. When you have that type of wealth, it corrupts. When you have any type of unwavering power, when you have the power to manipulate people's lives in a way where nobody else sees it but the person that's being manipulated, right? Now, I already touched on the fact that the mafia and the CIA are one and the same. You know what I mean? The CIA, the mafia, the feds, all of them work together. They control the laws in your city, the laws in this city anyway. They control, from what I understand, your property as well. They have a couple of real estate agencies, a lot of real estate agencies, a lot of the city municipal buildings, and the manipulation buildings is owned by these organizations and these different families. They own your electricity, Pico Energy. You know what I mean? Pico Energy, Scanner Pico Real Estate Agency, and all of that stuff. They're all tied in together. You know what I mean? Or do they have people operating on a lower level? Because you'll have part of the family who's in the office running the day-to-day business, and then you'll have another branch of the family in the streets operating and making sure that what the family in the office want come to fruition, what they want to happen in the streets, and what properties they want to acquire or who lives they want to tamper with, the ones in the family in the street make sure that come to fruition for the family that's up there in the office. And that's what goes on. My family was a victim of that for a long time. My grandmother, my mother, me, currently are victims of that. Um, to be honest with you, it's been plenty of times where I asked for justice and I asked for, you know what I mean? I asked God for understanding. Um, I asked God to make a way. I'm asked the Creator to make a way out of this situation. Any bad situation, things like that. I just ask for, guidance, and I pray that we make it out of any situation without having any judgment cast on us. Without, you know what I mean? It's like, how can a person or a family who's been done wrong continue to be done wrong so many times? And I also ask that the organizations dealing with this type of thing get held accountable for this. People, uh, for the things that they do, for the acts that they play in people's lives. But I understand that's a hard thing to ask at times, for justice in an unjust simulation or reality. Now, I'm gonna tell you like this. I've been previewed to some information that's hard to put in words. So when I come through and I'm doing my podcast, a lot of times I can't really articulate what I'm thinking because a lot of things are just unfathomable. Some things are harder to explain than they are to actually think about. If you understand what I'm saying. Like, it'll be easy for me to think about something and really get that thought off, right? In my own mind. But when I'm actually trying to say it or convey it on video, or it's harder to explain because some people just might not understand and might not get what actually is, you know what I mean, what all entails, what information that I have to make me come up with that conclusion, to that conclusion. But I know for a fact that the CIA, aka whatever organization they want to make you believe they are, or whatever they're doing, they're in touch with ETs, extraterrestrials, spiritual beings, and it's really a spiritual war that we're having with these different organizations. They make it look so physical. They make it look like just the stealing of a house, just the mere, dispute with your family and things like that. They put you at odds with one another because they're stealing your energy, essentially. Not the energy in your house, because that's easy to steal. They could just flip a switch. But they're stealing your energy on a spiritual level. It's and I do believe that they're in contact with the people who got us in this simulation. Because ultimately, what it boils down to, we're in a simulation. It's been theories. I looked on a lot of different, I've read a lot. I've seen a lot of interviews and podcasts and things like that. And you have a lot of theories going around saying that, people speculating, is our reality really a simulation? Or is it in fact, you know, we live and we breathe and we live in our life, and it's just according to how we live our life, and that's how everything will turn out. But it's not that simple, because you can live a good life all your life, and you can live according to whatever it is, whatever your morals and values are, whatever it is that you believe in, and something comes along or somebody comes along and shake up the very foundation of whatever it is you believed to be true about your reality. Anytime that your reality can be shaken up, that means it has a level of simulation, even though your simulation is in fact real to you. But I think the consumption of energy from out of us, from what you think, from what you feel, from your spirituality, from just you getting excited on a daily basis, or different charges that you have just because it's certain holidays and things like this going on. The charge that you get from a loved one, you know what I mean? The energy you feel between, a father and son, or a mother and daughter, and things like that. All of this energy that is, for our benefit is also stolen from us in a lot of ways. We're basically energy slaves, and that's what it boils down to. We're energy slaves, and they try to find ways of keeping you in the same loop, right? I was playing around with a question earlier, right? The question was, if this is a matrix or a simulation that we're living in, how would we escape it? Not even how would we be able to tell if we're in a simulation or if this is reality. How would we escape the matrix or the simulation that we're living in, right? And I came up with 3 things that you could do to escape the simulation, right? One thing that you definitely can't do. It seemed like an easy fix, but it'll just send you in a loop. Number 1 is gaining wealth, being wealthy, coming up, accomplishing achievements in your life, reaching goals and pinnacles and things like that. And just make sure you're in a place where if you are in a simulation of some virtual reality, so to speak, that it really can't have an effect on you because you're living your life right, you're wealthy, you have achievements, you're making sure people around you are happy and things like that. So you are in control of the simulation, sort of, kind of. Because, anything could fuck up, right? Anything could fuck up that. If you are in a simulation, they could send one of these Agent Smiths to you and mess up your entire reality of what you call your life, right? There's that. Now, another way you could escape this matrix is if a person, or if the beings or entities outside the matrix, the people outside, I'm going to just say the people outside the matrix because I don't want to be too scatterbrained or too thinking too much into, if it's aliens, if it's spiritual, if it's this, if it's that. The people on the outside of the matrix who can traverse inside and outside the simulation that we're living in, if we're living in a simulation. If they take an interest in you, for whatever reason that may be, they take an interest in you, they can help you out the matrix. They can pull you out. They can help you see different things that maybe you didn't see before. They could, in a way, not just tell you, but show you that you're in a simulation, that you're going through this, that this thing is not really all that it seems there is. You know what I mean? There's something way more beyond this. There's something, it might not even be nothing way more beyond this. You just might be literally laying in a little tube somewhere with shit attached to your head or whatever, and it's just you wake up and you're put back to sleep, right? Then it was another series. That was 2. Hold on, let me think, because that was 1. Then there was 2. The wealth thing, somebody actually helping you get pulled out. Oh, number 3 was by not giving a fuck, just living your life according to how you feel, your belief system, your own theocracy, and running with that. And there's nothing more beautiful than that. Just whatever level of life that you on, when you come to this realization that your reality may not be your reality at all, right? To just accept it for what it is and to live your life and live happy and try to, be abundant in whatever whatever venture you have in your life. You know what I mean? Anything that you choose to take on or, create things like this, just do and be and grow and love and, you know, be who you are, basically. That's another way of escaping the matrix or the simulation without escaping. And the one that I was talking about earlier, the one that I said that is absolute must not, is taking your own life. Doing something where it takes you, because that ultimately could affect other people's reality. That could affect their reality, not only their reality. That's the biggest part to me about that. When you do that, you give the thought, a notion to somebody else that that's okay to do. And that's not okay to do. That's something that you don't want your children to have on their mind. That's something that you don't want your loved ones to even be thinking about. So that's, ending it, taking your own life, ending it yourself, and just pulling yourself out of reality. I I believe that that's a way to have you stuck in a loop. You have to repeat. You have to repeat whatever process by you trying to eject yourself faster than what you're supposed to be ejected. You know what I mean? Taking yourself out of the learning process, the growing process, or shit, for the worst, the slavery process. Because if it is a slavery, then they want to keep your energy here. The ultimate way of keeping your energy here is by making you expire before you were supposed to expire or leave this earth. That's another thing that I believe that they're in charge of too when you go to these hospitals. Like I said, I added up scanner picos and pico energy and pico real estate, and they control the energy and the power and things like that. So who's to say that they can't make people die in a hospital? I think they had that type of power. I think if you're about to die naturally and they want to keep you stuck in some type of loop, in some type of life loop, of slavery, then what they'll do is they'll pull a plug on you or have you expire before it's your time. I believe they have, that type of thing going on with them. I think that honestly, this is I think honestly it's some demonic shit, to even have people believe in one thing, but they're able to be manipulated by other people who's in the same system with you. It's like, yeah, you have to have some order and, this and that, but to allow people to be manipulated on a level where it alters their entire reality just for the betterment of what? Of a company, of a corporation, of somebody else's life and the way that they live for whatever reason, even if you don't have anything to do, no ties to them at all, and then they just inject themselves into your life, cause all type of mayhem in your life, and then pop back out. And then when you sit up there and try to clean up the mess that they made, or try to put the puzzle together, and then you're made to look out like you're made to look crazy, or you're made to look like you're the one that did something wrong. When in fact the entire time they had everything planned. The exploitation, the whole conspiracy, the whole charade, the whole game was rigged, and you never knew it until they actually injected themselves, did what they did, and got out, popped out of Dodge on you. And then you sitting there with your dick in your hand, looking stupid. You know what I mean? Not even looking stupid, just looking out of place. Because that's what they do to you. They'll play you out of your position. And they do it so well. It's what they do. You can't help but be played out of position when, somebody knows the ins and outs and the inner working of you and who you are and you know, your character and your personality. They know exactly, who to do what with in your life to make your life what your life is. They could either make it better or for the worse. And I believe there's a paywall between you and your success. A lot of people agree with that. There's a paywall between you and your success. They always want you to pay to be successful. I even hear this term going around a lot from my man Kevin Gates. He say adversity builds character. But I believe that adversity that you're going through is something that's made to break you and not build you up. The adversity that a lot of us go through is not there to build your character, baby. Nah, brother. It's there to break your spirit, to keep you stagnant. Now, once you make it, yeah, you can have those type of point of views, and I don't like to be made a victim of. I look at the glass as half full and not half empty. So yeah, I can say that adversity builds character too. You know what I mean? But at the same time, when I'm calling a spade, that adversity is there to diminish your spirits, to give you a sense of hopelessness, and it takes you to think yourself and to work yourself out of those situations and out of those feelings. A lot of people, they can't navigate through that. A lot of people can't continue to make music, podcasts, to pursue their dreams and everything past a Agent Smith type of person, i.e. CIA, Mafia, whoever they are, coming into your life and fucking it up. And then you just continuing and carrying on with everything like it never happened. It'll never happen. It'll never happen. Technically, I could call this episode Scanapico Scandal Part 2, because a lot of what's controlled in this city goes through them. It goes through a false system, a system of legal organized crime. And it's very much illegal, but I call it legal organized crime because they'll perform organized crime acts against you, your family, and loved ones through the legal system. They'll make it seem as if what you're going through, they were right to be doing this to you. In a legal sense, they'll even go as far as having people put falsified claims on you, doing all types of shit. They'll surveil you and put you in situations and see how you act or what you do, just so they could get footage on you, or they could get a rap sheet on you, and they could actually use it against you. They'll put you in situations where you're doing things that you don't normally do. You know what I mean? You're just like, oh, okay, I'm doing this. Okay, this is happening. What you want me to do? All right, I'll do it real quick. And it seemed like something innocent and harmless to you, but to them, they got a camera rolling, or they got video recordings of whatever it is you're doing. So this way, they can make themselves look like they right. So they could basically give this evidence, this falsified evidence or whatever, to their bosses or the people that they work for. So that way it covers their ass and what they were doing. So they can manipulate you and exploit you out of whatever property, whatever it is, that equity, whatever you have. That's what they do. And they're attached to the energy system. They do have the energy grid up under them. You know what I mean? They control the power. And I've been witness to several times, several things happening. You know what I mean? It's like the energy that flows, that that these generators have in them and everything just isn't, the electricity just isn't electricity to power your lights in your house or to make your car turn on or to give you juice on your phone battery. They have a saying, right? Faster than the speed of light. I believe that they can transmit your energy, your life's essence through these lights and things like that. I don't work at Pico Energy. Um, I don't I don't work on these systems. I'm not an engineer of theirs or anything. But I believe that our energy grid is way more than what it seems. Our energy grid is actually something designed to steal the actual energy that they need. These lights are basically absorbing whatever energy or whatever essence that it wants from you. Um, it has the ability to send messages, codes, and all of those type of things. They could tamper with the genetics. I'm looking at a light right now. They could tamper with the genetics of you. They could tamper with the things you think, the things you do, say, how you feel, your emotions, whether you stress or depressed. They could put, um, they can make somebody else think something else about you. They can make somebody either fall in love with you or think you're the worst person in the world. That's why I'm using my UV blockers. I mean, it's still touching, the light touch everything. It's touching my skin, it's on me. But I can think clearly because, I don't know, in my last video I said it seems like, when these cameras is looking into the windows of your soul, your eyes, when these lights are on and everything like that, it's like you're being watched by something that you don't know that you're being watched by. Like, yeah, I'm aware that this phone camera is watching me right now, and I'm aware that I'm recording a video, and I'm aware that I'm gonna put this video out there so that people can watch it and try to understand what I'm saying. But the thing that I'm not aware of is what other motive do this camera really have? Is there somebody watching this live? I'm recording this. This is a recording. I'm not live streaming it. But is there somebody in there that's watching me live? Is there somebody that can see me even if the camera's not on? Just by the illumination of a light bulb. See, we got to remember that these people play with ancient magic, spiritual magic. That's of this world and not of this world. They play on a different molecular level. They play on a different playing field than us. These are unfathomable concepts that I come up with. But when I add it up and when I think about it, and a lot with me is just about feelings. What I'm feeling, my thoughts, me adding up things that you may not have been previewed to in my life. But I'm sure you got your own personal accounts that make you come to your own decisions or assumptions on what's going on. But mine's is giving me the assumption that, it's really spiritual warfare going on. And they pollute our minds, they cloud our judgment, and they take our time away. They make us, do frivolous things, sit dormant in a lot of ways and not really do the things that we were put here, that we were intended to do while we are here. Maybe all they want us to do while we're here is be slaves in a way, in some sort. Maybe some of us do complete our journey here, and if there is a grade system, what would be the pass or fail, right? It's like, if I don't do what my soul intended for me to do in this human body, is there a pass or fail system for that? Can somebody literally, can a system literally stop you from completing your soul's mission here in life, whatever that is? Those are the things I think about at times, because it's like, when you're trying so hard to really reach and to really do exactly what it is you feel as if you're supposed to do with your life, there's so much that goes against that. We could call it adversity. You could call it haters. You could call it circumstance. You call it whatever you want to call it. But it all seems like it's made by design. It all seems like there's demonic forces working against you. That's working through you, and it's working against you through others to stop you from achieving whatever it is you were supposed to achieve in your life. I do believe that we have races of people here that literally are bloodsuckers, energy suckers, because your plasma, your blood, you have plasma in your blood. What was the famous TV a couple years back, like 10 years back? Plasma TVs, right? Plasma television, So, right now, how much is blood plasma going for? They pay for it. They don't care if you got AIDS or you got whatever. They just want blood. It's a lot of demonic shit going on, man. And the people that's in power around your cities, in your atmosphere, they do the bidding of what's going on. You know what I mean? They do the bidding of actually holding you back, and it's just them allowing themselves to be used by whatever demonic energy is here, whatever demonic energy is governing over you and your family. The best thing you could do is try to reach your children and let them know that there's more to life. Let them know and guide them and put them on a path of not being manipulated by all the devices, by all the rhetoric, by the social media and shit like that. Because even me, I'm an adult. I get caught up in the social media thing too. You know what I mean? I get caught up in this and that when I'm trying to promote or post and, show my work to the world and things like that and get a message out there to the world. Even I get caught up on it. I see a big fat ass on a social joint. I see a pretty girl. I see something funny. I see a car that I like. You know what I mean? I see somebody playing tennis. I like looking at the Wimbledon tennis things and stuff like that. I see a little cute doggy or something. I get caught up in that shit too. I see the games and shit. The gaming thing is just for my fun. And I figured out it's a great promotion tool for your music too. So is this podcast. You know what I mean? But it's like, we got to move past that and just remember that there's more to life. There's more to life, and it's like, people out here don't want to see you achieve the things that you're supposed to achieve in your life, man. That's the duality of a concept right there. That's the duality of you living life and you just existing. You have to keep chasing. You have to keep striving. You have to bend your mind, change the rules. you know That's all you can do at a time, because at a point in time, you got to remember, it's like my life was directly tampered with. I witnessed my mother's life being directly tampered with. My grandmother's life was tampered with, but I wasn't around for hers like that. But I know that she was handled, by I know that she was handled. I know that I was handled. I know that we all have been abused in so many ways, and we all been hurt in so many ways. And what I really do think is these people are here, the ones that work with the system, the ones that call themselves the CIA, or the ones that call themselves whoever they want to call themselves. I do believe that they're working with demonic entities, aliens. They're working with the system that want to keep us in place. They want your bloodline to stay exactly where it's at. They want to keep you less than a lot of times, until somebody, either, you, your children, somebody could actually elevate and get to the point where they can't control them anymore. And even then, they'll still try to pin all types of shit on you. Really, there's no way you can make it out this thing unscathed. It's a racist system that we living in, and it's not racist to the point where, like, they don't really care about your race. It's more so about racism on a spiritual level. Racism on the spiritual level is something different, because then it's not about exactly how you look or this or that. You know what I mean? They'll use that against you too, and turn us against each other because one is uglier than the other, or we might look different, or you might be darker and I might be lighter, or you might be lighter and I might be darker. But really, it's a spiritual slavery. It's a spiritual racism that's going on. Where they just don't want to see certain people get ahead, man. They just don't want it. And then if somebody like you from a different lineage get ahead, but of the same spiritual essence, it's to the point where they won't even reach back and help you. You know what I mean? They won't even give a second thought about helping you because they already made it through. And they might think about helping you, or they might think about reaching out to you. But like I said, if we all living under energy grid that's controlled, and they can keep us separated, not with whips and chains and shit like that, just by the mere flicking of a light, or the mere, post on the cell phone. They could keep you away from somebody just by making sure that, your posts don't show up when they feed, in they timeline or whatever. So this person will never get to even realize that you out there making your podcast, or doing your music, or living your life, and going through the things that you're going through, because they won't let you pop up on nobody's timeline. Or maybe you is popping up on somebody's timeline, but they just poking fun, ridiculing, or just don't give a fuck about you. You know what I mean? Either way, it's a damn shame. Either way, it's not only a shame, it's not only a dichotomy that we living in, it's an abomination, to tell you the truth. It's like, I'm not doing this just for a 15 minutes of fame situation. I'm not doing this just for monetary value. I'm doing this because all my life I've seen spiritual things. I've been in close contact with spiritual entities, with, different things. I had a lot of things happen in my life that I can't explain. I could sit up here and describe them. I could sit up here and tell you stories about things that happened in my life, that things that I witnessed, things that I encountered. things that I've seen in dreams, seen in reality, things that I've seen personal accounts of happening. Few and far between. It was people there with me when this was happening, but a couple of times people witnessed these things with me that I've experienced. And it's like, see, right there, I forgot what I was going to say next. And I don't know whether that was me forgetting my train of thought and what I was going to say, or something not wanting me to convey that message properly. Right? That's just how I feel at times. You know, you ever have deja vu? You ever have foresight where you just know what's going to happen? I had people that explained. I had people that I've explained situations and how it was going to play out. And if it didn't play out exactly the way I said it, then it never played out at all. It's like, how can I know exactly what's going to play out and how it's going to play out, this and that, right? The one thing that I do want to know how it's going to play out is my situation right now. I get glimpses and things like that because I try to meditate on my own situation and try to see, have a certain foresight or future sight into exactly how my own situation is going to play out. Not just for me, because that would be selfish. I look at how it's going to play out for my children, for my family, for my loved ones, right? And I can't really see that. I can't see that. Sometimes I get a glimpse that everything's going to be fine. I mean, real fine. Everything's going to turn out proper, right? Because I've done nothing wrong. All I'm doing is speaking my truth, and I'm, hopefully letting justice prevail, whatever justice I'm granted anyway, since I look at it as a legal organized crime system organization. But on the other side, I just don't want to be done wrong. I'm tired of being done wrong in my life. I'm tired of my kids being done wrong in their life by proxy. You know what I mean? It's like, if I'm being done wrong and I can't provide in ways that I want to provide and things like that, ultimately they're being done wrong. If my mom was being done wrong when I was a kid, when I was a child, my children's age, if she was being done wrong and she didn't raise me properly or instill the right messages in me or talk to me or guide me through different things or let me know certain information, then I was done wrong through my mother. Not because she chose to do wrong. It's because she was dealing with something. She was dealing with things that she didn't even understand or fully grasp or have the full concept behind what was going on. Or maybe she did. I don't know. Maybe her life and my uncle's life was affected because my grandmother had something going on in her life. What's the commonality between all of us? Right? My grandmother, she's Irish and Native American. My mother, far as I know, Irish and Native American. My father's Cuban. I know for a fact the CIA do not like Cubans. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't fucking know. But I know my father is from Cuba, and back in the day, the mafia, CIA, they had a thing with the Cubans where they was always up the Cubans' ass for whatever reason. I have no clue. I know for a fact that they don't really own this land that they in possession of. This is Native American land. Cuba is Cuba. America is Turtle Island, and this is the natives' land. I happen to have native blood, and I do believe that they possess this land unlawfully. And just because they have the the municipality building, just because they got a claim to the land, because they own the property, the buildings that's on it, they don't own the soil, the dirt. They don't own the birthrights. They don't own the nativity to this land. You know, they don't own the spiritual space in this land. So they got to control it somehow. And I do believe that they hold certain people back, or they try to keep people in jail or hostage because they want that energy. They want that same spiritual dwelling to always be around on a certain land, on a certain plane. So they make sure that you never, and make sure that you never get away from that. And if you do ever get away from that land, and you know, they make sure it's very briefly, or it's orchestrated by them. It's a slavery game that you don't even see happening because you don't have no chains or whips hitting you or whatever. Well, you do, but you can't see them no more. You know, you can't, you know, back in the day when it was all going on, they had the whips and chains on you. They had to let you know that you had boundaries, and you had to respect these boundaries or they would kill you or hurt your loved ones. But nowadays it's done mentally, it's done spiritually, and it's done physically if you step out of lines, or they get you up on some trumped up charges, right? Like they do. Or get you on some child support shit, right? Like they do. See, in my case, they covered the gamut with me. In my case, they covered the fucking gamut with me. I mean, they full blown set me the fuck up. Got me out of my job or whatever. You know, they did it in a way where they can have plausible have plausible deniability. The person who infiltrated my life, or the people who infiltrated our lives, right? They act like they was helping when they was really hurting. They act like they was helping me, right? Probably got them on camera and all that shit in different places, trying to act like they helping me, but they wasn't. Everything that they did was a quid pro quo, so they could steal property, livelihood, so they could steal inheritance, so these people could steal and manipulate a life, a soul. This is what they do. That's all they do is steal and exploit shit. That's all they did in my life. You know who I'm talking about. Georgia Scanapico. Her mother, Stephanie Scanapico. Look at the name. Pico. Scanapico. Scanapico Real Estate Company. Right downtown. Big ass building. Right? And then Pico Energy. They're also tied to my old job, Scepter. They're tied into the whole city. This whole city is tied up by these families, by these people, by these organizations, by these groups. I'm not saying it's not a tough pill to swallow, because it is. You know, finding out that, you know, they could just manipulate your life. They can manipulate the people around you to have them act against you. People that you thought would never and could never betray you or do you wrong, or they got the power to do all of that. And the only way I can think of is through some spiritual manipulation, some ancient systems, some ancient magic that they use through electricity and through these devices and things like that. Not only that, I know when you have your secret meetings, that you all gotta put away your phones. You put your phones somewhere separate and you dress up in robes and things like that, maybe. I don't know. But either way, I know for a fact that it's a spiritual warfare going on. And they attack us through many different ways, many different means. I'm just trying to be free of that. I don't want to be caught up in that system. You know what I mean? Tough pill to swallow, man. When you gotta witness family members and friends and community members and people that you trust betray you. You know what I mean? To spin your wheels, to play you out of your position. It's a tough pill to swallow. At the end of the day, if I had anything that I could ask the Creator, the Most High, I would just want to know what for. What for are these people afforded the ability to do these type of things in a person's life? What for? Because the vision is clear. The vision has always been clear for me. But the vision has never been obtainable because, right? Because I never had the motivation behind me. I never had anybody to motivate me to do the things that I knew the different callings and different feelings and different inclinations that you have in your lifetime. If you don't have anybody fueling that fire, you'll never get there. It's like trying to drive a truck cross country, but your gas tank on E. You might got every intention on taking this truck cross country and getting there, and picking up that load. But it's like, if you don't got no diesel fuel in that engine, if you don't got no diesel fuel in that tank, you're not getting cross country. You're just not going to be able to make the journey because you don't got fuel in your tank. Or if you do got fuel, you might have some mixed up 2-stroke engine fuel or some type of lesser diesel, some rigged up fuel or something like that. They got places that make gasoline and stuff like that, so they can actually rig up different gasoline. But if it's like, if you don't have the tools that you need until you're able to get smarter, get some wisdom about yourself, and motivate yourself to whatever dream or achievement it is that you have for your life, that you feel as if you're supposed to achieve in your lifetime. If you don't have that in you and you don't have anybody motivating you, then you'll never have the fuel. Having a motivation to chase whatever it is that you're supposed to do, whatever your soul calling is, it's like having a Tesla. It's like having a supercar without a gas generated engine. A supercar that just runs off, ironically, electricity, right? But you're able to produce that electricity, that energy that it takes to fuel that car yourself. You know what I mean? It's like you don't got to rely on going to the pump and paying for fuel because you have an energy source that's produced by you. And that's how it is. Once you get a certain age, once you get a certain wisdom and knowledge about yourself, you realize that really to make your journey, you don't need the motivation of anybody. You really don't need the support of anybody, except for the people that's appreciating whatever your work is. Your podcast, your music, your books, your game streams, your your music, whatever it is that you producing, when people see it and it resonate with them and they like it, that's all the fuel you need. All you need is the people, the masses. But in your personal life, if there's nobody around you to give you that, and you don't have the wherewithal to develop that type of fuel, that type of energy, that type of drive, that get up and go, then you will never get to your dreams. And it's like, it's sad because you always had that potential. That's why I try to explain to my kids, they have so much potential. I'm the biggest supporter of whatever it is my children want to do. You know what I mean? If my daughter want to sing, dance, do whatever it is that she want to do with her life, I know she could do it. I'll never steal her of that energy, of that knowing that she could do something. I never deprive her of that, because she deserves to know that she's capable of doing anything that she wants. My son as well. If there's anything he want to do in life, I know is there for him, and he could do it. You know what I mean? He got everything he need to, at his disposal, all his talents and all how driven he is and everything. He could do it in his life, whatever it is that he want to do. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I don't believe that their lives should be guided and manipulated in any type of way like mine's has been. That mine's been in a long time. It's like for a long time. It's like we got to get past that. I'm trying to get past the things that I had to go through in my life. You know what I mean? With all types of things built up in my mind, in my soul, physically. Just, it's a lot to get past. It's a lot to process. And that process is still going on, and me still trying to understand everything. One day I will. One day I will. I believe I'm close now. I'm just not really, I'm not good at explaining everything, and giving it to you on camera, because it's not like a Discord. It's not like I have somebody that I'm talking to objectively. It's not like I have a guest host or anybody that, that's on this show with me. It's just me, speaking out into the ether, giving you my thoughts and feelings on whatever, so that's that. I'm going to take y'all out with focus, and then I'm going to be done with this podcast. More music on the way. I've been thinking about Moonlit Marshes. Marshall Cuts is the main protagonist. That's a book that I'm working on. Moonlit Marshes. I'm supposed to be bringing that book out in the near future. More music is coming in the near future. More podcasts, more game streams, and I'm going to just keep it moving like that. Stay focused on my goals and my plans. And I just don't want those to be interrupted. That's not just what I want. I want justice. They know who I'm talking to. They need to, yeah, remedy the situation. Remedy the situation. You know, I'll take it. I'll take a cool. I'll take a cool settlement, as long as it's attached to about 9 zeros. As long as it comes with 9 O's and a bold number in the front, I'll take that. I'll take those repercussions and reparations for whatever, because that's what y'all owe me. That's what's owed. What's owed is a lot, and I might not ever see what I'm owed until I'm done creating something that get me and my family out of here. And that's ultimately what I'm trying to do. I don't even want to live in the United States no more, and that's fucked up, because I love the United States. But I don't even see myself and my family continuing to live here after all this shit that they put us through. You know, all the shit that I find out about the ins and outs of this and that. It's not a good place. I mean, it's a good place to play around in, I guess. To bump around in and fuck off and do whatever you want. But it's not a good place. It's not a good place anymore. It's not. I don't know if it ever was a good place, to be honest with you. That's what I figured out. We're too amused with amusement in America. We're not amused to really do a lot. I mean, you have some that's amused and they get things done, artwork and music or whatever, but it's too much amusement, man. It's too much. It's debilitating when somebody's attacking you spiritually and you don't know it. When somebody's attacking you mentally and physically and you don't know it. You know, I'd rather live in a place where they're not attacking me in different ways. They're not manipulating me in many different ways. I don't know what continent that is, but there's places that you can live in where they don't try to manipulate their population. You know, where they're upfront and they're upright with everything that they do for the people that live there. You know what I mean? That's a place that I want to live. You know, they have places where you can live where you don't have to trade your freedoms for security. You can keep your freedoms and still have security, knowing that there's people there that got your back, that really care about you. So, you know, that's what it is. Well, this has been my episode of God Concept. I hope you all enjoyed. Please like, share, subscribe, follow, all above, man. Yeah. Peace out.